This is KHTS News coming to you live from the scene of a fatal motorcycle crash over here on Soledad Canyon Road, right near the Saugus Speedway. As of this time, we do know that one person has been killed. Unfortunately, it appears that the motorcyclist was the one who did not manage to walk away from this crash. As of this time, what we do believe happened is the motorcycle that you can see here managed to clip the side of a city truck, as far as I can tell from the medallion on the side, and threw the driver and the bike to the ground. Now, this has not been confirmed yet. This is largely based on what I can see here. Now, what is important to know is that the entirety of Soledad Canyon Road, both east and westbound, has been closed. Now, from where I came from, I know that the traffic is being redirected at Soledad and Bouquet over at the Four Corners, as well as far as I can see, the intersection of Commuter Way, which is right by the train station here on Soledad Canyon Road. If you need to travel between the two different sides of the valley, between Canyon Country and Saugus, Canyon Country and Valencia, my suggestion would be either to take Sierra Highway or Golden Valley Road and head on down to Newhall in order to work your way around to Valencia or Canyon Country and vice versa. Or you can go ahead and take Newhall Ranch Road. That would be a very reasonable redirection for yourself if you're trying to get around. We don't exactly know how long this closure is going to last. Unfortunately, when it comes to fatal crashes, there is a lot of investigation involved. It's obviously rather serious. Somebody died, and we have to figure out the circumstances of the crash, not only to answer questions for the victim's family, but to also figure out who is at fault or if anyone is even at fault at all. This just started, so we don't have any sort of identification on the victim as of yet. This crash only occurred maybe about 20 minutes ago at this point. This is very, very preliminary information. I can tell you that the motorcyclist was reported to have driven into the back of that work truck that you can see right there that is owned by the city. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what kind of bike it is. I can tell you it is a road bike and not a dirt bike of any kind. That's about as far as I can tell you, though. I can tell you the difference between a road bike and a dirt bike. That's as far as I can tell. If it's any specific kind, like a Ducati or Mitsubishi or a Harley even, couldn't even begin to tell you. I can tell you that only one person has been reported killed, which is believed to be the rider of the motorcycle. We have several workers from the city who apparently witnessed the crash when the biker clipped the end of that trailer that you can see on the right side of your screen. However, as this incident is still under investigation, there's really not much more information we can tell you as to the cause of this crash at this time. We do expect the entirety of Soledad Canyon Road to be closed for the duration of the incident. Unfortunately, it takes some time for crash scenes like this to be cleared up because it is so serious. When somebody dies, there's a whole nother level of investigation that has to happen in order to try to figure out what exactly has happened here. In addition, it also requires that the coroner come out and collect the remains of the deceased, which can take some time as well, especially on a weekday, considering most of them will have to come from the Los Angeles Valley. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, we do know that one person has died in a crash on eastbound Soledad Canyon Road, right by the Saugus Speedway. My apologies. Right by the Saugus Speedway. Now, although the crash did occur on the eastbound side of Soledad Canyon Road, the entirety of Soledad Canyon has been closed off for the duration of the incident. Traffic is being redirected from the Four Corners at Soledad Canyon Road, Valencia Boulevard, and Bouquet Canyon Road if you're on the westbound side, and over at Commuter Way if you're coming from the east. We obviously don't have any sort of identification for the victim as of this time, considering this only occurred 20 to 25 minutes ago. Unfortunately, I can't see exactly what type of motorcycle that it is that was involved in the crash. However, I can tell you that it was a road bike and not a dirt bike of any kind. As you can see, there are lots of different people walking around a crime scene like this. There's a lot to be done at crime scenes. It's not quiet. I'm sure for anybody who has ever seen a crime show, you can figure out that there's a lot of things that have to happen here. There has to be deputies in order to block off the roadway. in order to prevent anybody from driving through and causing worse traffic backups than the one we're seeing. You can also see deputies actually investigating the area. If you take a look at that deputy who appears to be holding a orange set of wheels on a long stick, that's actually a measuring device in order to try to check the distance between different points. That's most often used to measure things like skid marks for when somebody tries to brake, or how far away exactly from a certain point different parts of a crash might be from one another. We really don't expect this scene to be cleared up anytime soon. As you can see, there is debris all over the roadway in addition to the victim who was killed. This is really going to take some time. So if you are in the area and you have to travel between Canyon Country and Valencia or Canyon Country and Saugus, we really suggest you take an alternate route and avoid Soledad Canyon Road. Your alternate routes include Newhall Ranch Road, which is just to my north, as well as if you wanted to take Sierra Highway or perhaps Railroad Avenue down to Newhall and loop around that way, that would be entirely possible. In addition, you also have other options. If you go a little bit further north into Saugus, you could also take, mentally looking at a map in my head here, you could take Bouquet Canyon Road to Plum Canyon to Whites Canyon. You'd be able to loop around that way. As well, if you wanted to take any of the freeways, you could hop on any of those, take the 14 to the 5 or vice versa. As I mentioned previously, we really don't expect this scene to clear up for some time. So I really suggest that if you need to travel, avoid the area. We're seeing a lot of traffic backup while we were on our way here. We actually had to hike a good half mile coming from the intersection of Bouquet Canyon Road and and Soledad Canyon Road, right there at the former Four Corners. Now, it is possible at this time, for those of you who are taking a look at the scene, we're still trying to figure out exactly what is going on here. However, there is not much really known beyond the preliminary reports, which is that a motorcycle struck the back of that trailer, which is owned by the city that you can see there, which appears to belong to workers who are apparently trying to possibly clear up some brush in the area, which, it's very important at this time of year. That's something we really want to take a look at. We do know that you guys can see potentially another vehicle in my shot. However, at this time, we cannot confirm that they have anything to do with the crash. It is possible that they are witnesses. However, this is very, very preliminary. Oh, dear. So apologies, I'm a little thrown off by that. We are here at the scene of a fatal crash here at Soledad Canyon Road here in Saugus, right by the Saugus Speedway. As you can see, deputies are actually putting back up the barrier between us and the body of the deceased, which unfortunately fell over just a moment ago there. As of this time, we do believe that it was the motorcyclist who was killed in the crash. We don't know much more about the motorcyclists themselves, no description, no ID as of this time. That will be coming later. I do know that we have a story up on our website at hometownstation.com. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, they'll have all of the exact same details that I'm telling you right here at our website at hometownstation.com, or you can also check out our social media at KHTS Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest in Santa Clarita news. We're going to try to get you live coverage on this for as long as possible. Now, as of this time, deputies are kind of looking around the scene, trying to make sure that they get all angles of everything, because they are trying to reopen this road, but they don't want to jeopardize the investigation in any way, shape, or form. So it's a little bit of a balancing act between, okay, we're trying to get the roadway open, so we got to clear everything out, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you document everything down to the minutest detail, because this did cost someone their life, and there is something to say for the fact that the crash did involve technically a city contracted vehicle, which adds a whole nother level of complication to the incident itself. We do believe that this crash occurred approximately 30 to 35 minutes ago as of this point, and one person was killed. All lanes of Soledad Canyon Road going in both directions have been blocked to allow for investigation. As I mentioned previously, there are alternate routes available. We are currently standing near Saugus Speedway, so I do believe that some traffic is being rerouted and looped around over at Commuter Way, which is a little bit to the east of us, as well as traffic on to the west of us, which would be behind me, is being looped around near the intersection of Valencia, Bouquet, and Soledad Canyon Road. There's going to be a lot of traffic near both of these intersections, and I would expect to see a lot more traffic just on above ground roadways in general, due to the fact that Soledad Canyon Road is one of the major veins of traffic through Santa Clarita. So everything that would be traveling on Soledad Canyon Road is now being redirected to all of these other streets. So I'd suggest if you need to get anywhere, even if you're not usually planning on taking Soledad, just give yourself a few extra minutes just to make sure that you're going to be able to get there on time, because everybody else that wanted to take Soledad now has to take those other streets. Now we're going to wrap this live up, so I'll give you one more recap of exactly what happened here. We're at the scene of a fatal crash involving a motorcyclist on Soledad Canyon Road. The crash occurred itself, as you can see, on eastbound Soledad Canyon Road, just to the west of the Saugus Speedway. All lanes of Soledad have been shut down and traffic is being rerouted on each side. You can go ahead and check out our website or listen to KHTS if you want some alternate routes, but you can always take Newhall Ranch Road. You can hop on the freeway to take the 14 to the 5 or vice versa, depending on where you need to go. But in short, always try to make sure that you give yourself a few extra minutes to get to where you need to go. And always, taking a look at a crash like this, I would like to remind everybody to please drive safe, watch where you're going, keep an eye out for what other drivers on the road are doing. I don't know about you guys, but my mother always taught me to drive defensively. Make sure that you never know what the next person is going to do, so try to keep an eye out. We don't want you to be the next person that we're reporting on, so please be careful. You'll be able to check out more on this story at our website at KHTS Hometown Station or on our social media at KHTS Radio. Reporting live for KHTS News.